The Girl Who Knocks. It started with a knock on the window. Just a gentle tap-tap that could have been a branch or a bird. Mila had been lying in bed, phone in hand, watching reels to drown out the silence of her new house. They had moved only 2 weeks ago, and every creak and groan in the old floorboards still made her flinch. Tap, tap. She froze. The window was on the second floor, facing the shadowy backyard, where no branches touched the glass. Tap, tap, tap. She slipped out of bed, phone flashlight shaking, and crept to the window. The moon cast just enough light to show her empty grass, the broken fence, the neighbor's half-buried lawn gnome watching with its chipped grin. Tap. She swallowed. She was about to lift the curtain when her mother called from downstairs. "Mila, are you okay?" She stepped back, heart thudding. "Yeah, Mom." But when she glanced at the window again, she saw it. A handprint on the glass, faint, like someone had pressed their palm there from outside. The next day, Mila tried to tell her mom. "It was probably your own handprint, honey," her mom said, trying to untangle a phone charger while half watching her true crime show. "It was outside, on the glass." "Then maybe it was there before we moved in." But when Mila checked again, the print was gone. That night, she kept the curtains shut, but as she tried to sleep, she heard it again. Tap, tap, tap. She squeezed her eyes shut, pulling the blanket to her chin. Then came the whisper, "Mila." It was so soft she thought it might have been the wind, but the wind didn't know her name. Over the next few days, Mila noticed the knocks came at exactly 12:17 a.m., always 3 taps, a pause, then a whisper of her name. Sometimes she thought she saw a shadow moving past the window, but every time she pulled the curtain aside, there was nothing but the night and the gnome in the yard. One night, she finally recorded it on her phone, holding her breath. Tap, tap, tap. Mila. But when she played the recording the next day, there was nothing but silence. On Friday, she met Caleb at school and told him about it. "There's this thing knocking on my window at night. It knows my name." "Dude, it's probably a raccoon." "A raccoon that whispers." Caleb's grin faltered. "You're pranking me." "I'm serious." "Okay, then let me sleep over tonight," he said. "We'll catch it." That night, they set up Caleb's old camcorder facing the window. They stayed up whispering, playing games, trying to ignore the ticking clock. At 12:17 a.m., the tap-tap-tap came again. They froze. The whisper came, clearer this time, like a child's voice. "Mila." Caleb lunged forward, throwing open the curtain. There was nothing there. "See?" he whispered, shaking.
"There's nothing." But when they turned to the camcorder, they saw it had shut off. Battery drained. Caleb left the next morning, pale and quiet. He didn't answer her texts after that. That night, the knocking came again. But it wasn't 3 taps anymore. It was 5. Tap, 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 tap. And the whisper wasn't just calling her name. "Let me in." Mila tried to tell her mom again, but her mother snapped at her. "I'm tired of these stories, Mila. You're not sleeping. You're making yourself sick. Enough." So Mila stayed awake, eyes fixed on the curtains. Tap, 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 tap. "Let me in." She reached for her phone but found it dead, even though she had charged it. She turned toward the window and saw the shape of a small girl behind the curtain, just standing there, waiting. She screamed, backing into the corner, but the shape didn't move. When her mom burst in, flicking on the light, there was nothing there. On Sunday, Mila's mom took her to the library to get out of the house. Mila wandered through the dusty shelves until she found the local history section. A yellowed newspaper clipping caught her eye. "Local girl found dead behind family home." The photo was grainy, but the girl's dark hair and wide, hollow eyes were clear. The article said the girl's name was Elise. She was 7 years old. She had disappeared from her room one night, and her parents found her body by the fence in the backyard. Mila's new backyard. She read the address twice, her hands shaking. That night she didn't sleep. At 12:17 a.m., the knocking came again. Tap, tap. "Let me in," Mila whispered. "Elise?" The knocking stopped. Then a single, louder thump against the glass rattled the window. She ran to the window and threw the curtain aside. Outside, on the other side of the glass, was a little girl with tangled dark hair, her skin grayish and her eyes hollow black pits. Dirt clung to her dress. She pressed her small hand to the glass, leaving a wet, muddy print. "Let me in, Mila," Elise whispered. Mila stumbled back, tripping over her chair, heart crashing in her chest. Elise's cracked lips moved again. "It's cold." The next day, Mila stayed in bed, feverish, unable to move. Her mom said she was just exhausted, but Mila heard her whispering on the phone in the hallway. "I don't know what's wrong with her." That night, the knocking didn't come at 12:17. It came at 3 a.m. Tap, 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 tap. Mila. She didn't have the strength to get up. She stared at the ceiling, clutching her blanket, sweating, tears sliding down her cheeks. "Please," Mila whispered. "Please, leave me alone." The whisper came again, closer, like it was inside her room. "Let me in." She woke to find muddy footprints on the floor near the window. Small child-sized footprints, leading from the window to her bed. She screamed, calling for her mom, but her mom saw nothing. The footprints were gone. Mila decided she would end it that night. She stayed awake, flashlight ready, phone recording, determined to talk to Elise. The knocking came. Tap, tap, tap. She pulled the curtain aside. Elise stood there, her black eyes fixed on Mila. "Let me in," she whispered. Mila opened the window. A rush of cold, rotting air hit her, making her gag. Elise climbed in, her muddy feet leaving dark prints on the carpet. She stood there, silent, staring. Mila's teeth chattered. "What do you want?" Elise lifted her hand, pointing to the corner of the room. Mila turned and saw a dark shape crouched there. Something bigger than Elise, its long arms wrapping around its knees, head tilted, watching. Mila turned back, but Elise was gone. The window was closed. Mila's mom found her the next morning, sitting in the corner, staring at the window, unable to speak. They took her to the hospital, but the doctors found nothing wrong. They moved out of the house, leaving the curtains drawn and the window locked. But every night at exactly 12:17 a.m., Mila hears it. Tap, 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 tap. "Let me in." Even though she is miles away, Elise still comes, knocking, whispering, waiting. And Mila knows that one night she will open the window again. Because sometimes, when Mila looks into the mirror, she sees Elise's black eyes staring back at her. And sometimes she feels cold, so very cold, and finds mud on her feet when she wakes up. And she understands why Elise wants to come in. Because once you hear the knocking, it never stops.